Honestly, I really enjoyed this talk. You know, it was something different.
I appreciate it.
And I felt it. It was really good.
My name's Gurveer Brah from Screen Off Script, and today I'm here with the star of Borderlands and also Viktor Drago from the Krieg movies and also from Marvel's SHANG-CHI, Razor Fist. And I'm here with Florian Munteanu.
Yes.
Was that good? Was that good? All right, beautiful, man. Thanks for joining us. First thing I want to talk about was the fact that a lot of people know you from the Drago franchise, but a lot of people might not know that you were actually a boxer.
Yeah.
Right? Which is kind of crazy. First off, how did you get the nickname Big Nasty?
A lot of people ask me that, but there's actually no nasty background to it, you know. When I was younger, I was like 14 years old. Me and my friends, we had like a game we played on the Xbox. It was Ultimate Fighter.
Okay.
And you could create your own characters to fight against each other. Mm-hmm. And that game had nicknames that you could choose for your character.
Yeah.
My friends chose Big Nasty for me.
Amazing.
And it stuck with me. I took it with me through the boxing career, through the movie career.
I love it. Yeah. Do you still watch a lot of boxing, UFC, that kind of stuff?
All the time.
What are you a fan of right now?
UFC?
Anybody, like anywhere in combat sports, what is drawing your attention?
What fighter?
Fight, what are you looking at right now?
Well, I love Dimitri Bivol.
Okay, of course.
He's the light heavyweight champion in boxing.
Mm-hmm.
I really anticipating that fight with Beterbiev, you know, because that's the undisputed light heavyweight championship. I just want to see it.
Yeah.
Both undefeated, both, you know, that Russian background, that Russian Soviet style. Mm-hmm. So that's the fight right now I want to see the most. I think Benavides Canelo is also very interesting. Yeah. I just don't know if it will happen.
Yeah, who knows? Are you watching that Sphere UFC fight? Have you been like paying attention to that big event that's about to happen?
The UFC Noche?
Yeah, Noche, yeah. Are you excited about that?
Of course. Yeah. I'm watching all the UFC events. If I can watch it live, I will always rewatch it, you know.
Who's your favorite UFC fighter?
Right now?
Yeah.
Probably Alex Pereira.
Alex Pereira, why not? Of course,
he's crazy,
He's kind of running the game right now.
And I was already watching him and a fan of his when he fought in Glory, kickboxing.
Do you see him being able to make that transition to heavyweight? I assume you fought in heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
So if someone can do it, it's definitely him. Mm-hmm. It's just a very, you know, coming up in weight is one thing. Coming up to heavyweight is a whole different story. Mm-hmm. But of course his striking is second to none. His power is really crazy. And he's a big guy, you know, he's tall like me. He's 6'4", I think. Mm-hmm. He walks around with 225, 230 pounds, which that's
the day after. He'll weigh in and then he rehydrates to that.
It's unbelievable.
Crazy.
Yeah. So if somebody can do it, I think it's him, but you know, there are some crazy grapplers out there. I think John Jones could easily take him down as well. I don't know how he would deal with that. Mm-hmm. We got to check that out. Hopefully it comes,
So you, like I said, you made that transition from boxing to acting. What made you kind of think, all right, cool, I'm in this athletic world. I'm going to jump into doing something more performance-based?
Because I always was eyeing that as well. Mm-hmm. You know, me being in the sports industry was not excluding the idea of coming into the movie industry, just also because a lot of people before me have done it, you know. Mm-hmm. Arnold is a big example, a big role model, and he made the full transition and became one of the biggest stars in the movie industry. Mm-hmm. So I saw, you know, even when I only did boxing, I always saw it as the entertainment industry, you know. And even if you look at the fights right now, you always have to promote yourself, right? That's why the press conference gets so big, and promoting yourself is part of the entertainment industry. Mm-hmm. So I always treated it like that. I always saw it like that. And I was just waiting for the right opportunity to jump on that train that got me into the movie industry.
So if you're coming up where you're a big Arnold guy, and you're basically scouted by Sylvester Stallone. Yeah. In the 80s, that was like something where they were kind of in competition.
That's the rivalry, right?
That was a big rivalry.
Yeah, no.
So how did you kind of feel about that? Kind of either growing up or even getting into the game?
What do you mean exactly? What I think about the rivalry?
Yeah, like were you were an Arnold guy, but you're getting picked up by Sly?
I was both.
Yeah?
It's like, I don't know. Give me a good rivalry. If you have Alex Pereira and you have Izzy, right? Adesanya. Those are rivals.
Yeah.
I still love both.
Yeah.
I still want to watch both. both are very inspirational to me. It's the same thing, you know. When I'm watching from the outside, I'm a fan, and that doesn't mean that I'm only rooting for one guy like it is with a club, for example, in a certain sport. You know, with Stallone and Arnold, of course, I love both. Stallone with the Rocky franchise. I mean, that's a franchise that really means a lot to me, and I think it really means a lot to many people out there. And then Arnold, he's from Austria, I'm from Munich. It's like super close, you know, it's like a 1-hour drive, basically.
It's like the blueprint for you, basically.
Absolutely. Right? And, you know, his nephew is now my lawyer, so
wow.
we have that connection already, and he's always in Munich, and yeah.
So with Arnold, he always talked about how he gained so much discipline coming from bodybuilding into acting, and even like The Rock, he talked about how coming from WWE, he gained a huge sense of work ethic, but also that larger-than-life persona.
Yeah.
When you're thinking of that transition from boxing to acting, what did you kind of carry over from one to the other?
Well, definitely the work ethic and the discipline that you have to bring to the table. But that's something, you know, if you want to achieve something in life, you gotta work hard, you gotta be disciplined, and that's not something new. I mean, that has to be, you don't have to explain what's understood. Like, that's a given already. If you don't know that you have to work hard, that you have to sacrifice a lot of things, if you have to have the right work ethic to achieve your goals, if you don't know that, I mean, there's no starting point, right? If I still have to explain that to you, then there's no point in talking, you know? You gotta have that down already, and you gotta bring all those attributes to the table if you want to achieve and accomplish your dreams and goals. Yeah.
I love that, man. So you're already part of so many iconic characters in film. It's kind of weird, right? Like, you're the son of Drago, but you're also bringing in like this is already like an iconic character in video games as well with Krieg.
That's why I wanted to play him so bad.
So how do you like approaching like a legacy character? They're completely different sides, but like, how do you approach a character that has such a established base of people around it?
That was the toughest approach so far, because, I mean, we had Drago with Ivan in Rocky IV, but we never have seen Viktor Drago. So it was my creative decision together with the director what we will do here. Same with Razor Fist. We have never seen Razor Fist in a movie before, just in comics, right? And with this one, like you said, this one was already an existing iconic character from video games, multiple video games, which, you know, fans and people loved so much. So there's a thin line here of fulfilling the expectations of the fans and trying to do something on your own.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you do too much on your own, fans will be very critical, then they will hate it. But then on the other side, like I said, you want to pay duty to what the fans expect. Very thin line. And that was probably creatively the toughest experience so far, just because he is already such an iconic existing character.
Yeah, that's very fair. So you had like the honor, I guess, of working with like some of the greatest actors of all time.
Definitely a privilege.
It's kind of crazy, right? Like Kate Blanchett, even just this film, Kate Blanchett, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart. You worked with Michael B. Jordan. You worked with Sly. Like, it's a ridiculous who's who of basically Hollywood history.
It's crazy. Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice you've gotten from one of those people that you worked with?
That's definitely easy, because it's put God first in everything I do. You know, this might get a little bit too religious now, but me putting God first and actually showing that faith and really living my belief to the way I should really helped me with everything else. You know, and I don't want to get too deep with this because it's a very deep topic. But yeah, simply said, putting God first in everything I do.
I understand. Honestly, sometimes I think it's a lot of like, everybody's putting their sense of faith into whatever they jump into, right? Like, you're believing in yourself at some point.
You can call it whatever you want, right? You can believe in the universe or whatever religion or whatever energy you might feel drawn to, right? But I just think it's important to believe in something, you know? And if you believe in something and something is out there that gives you security that you always can lean back on and always can talk to whenever you want, even if you feel your lowest. Because those are the times we actually talk to God or whatever it is the most, when we feel the lowest. So I think everyone should have that in his life. And I maybe didn't treat it the right way when I was younger. But you go on a journey here, you experience so many things, and then I had the privilege to meet so many great people. And one of those advices was definitely that, and I think that was the best advice I could get on the journey.
That's amazing, but also I saw Jamie Lee Curtis for this press run. Just every time I see her, she's gushing over you, which is kind of crazy, right? Like she was talking about this deleted scene. Unfortunately, I never got to make it into the movie.
It's crazy that you saw that, yeah.
And the thing is like you hear like one of the most iconic people in film kind of in your corner. How does that feel?
It feels surreal, but it's obviously a great appreciation of my work. Now I'm at this point. I've on this journey. I mean, I accomplished so many great things right now, but people don't know how many things got taken away from me, and they didn't see it. All of the work that I've done so far, that you guys have seen, is maybe 50% of what I really did. And I'm not talking about cuts. That, of course, cuts will always be made, right? You always have cuts and scenes and maybe even entire story arcs that don't make it into the final cut, that don't make it into a movie, and then the people won't see it. But I know the people who work with me, right? No matter if it's a producer, director, or even my co-workers, they have seen it. They know my quality, and that's all I need. And of course, if you get an appreciation like that from Jamie Lee, I mean, that's the best feeling.
So you mentioned cuts. Is there anything that you've mentioned, like a role that you're thinking of that like either maybe you almost got to play out?
No, because I got all the roles that I really wanted so far. But it's definitely, I mean, I can talk openly about it. When we shot Shang-Chi, the role of Razor Fist was way bigger and way more prominent, present in the movie, just because he had a very emotional and very deep story arc. Then, decisions get made. I don't have to get too deep into that topic, but of course, when an entire story arc gets cut out and you lose, you kind of see your hard work getting washed away somehow, right? That's not a good feeling. It hurts because you want the fans and the people out there to see what you're really capable of. But everything happens for a reason. And even in the Marvel universe, there's so many steps to come. We got so much more to tell in that Shang-Chi world and in that storyline. So we'll see what happens.
And they're working on the sequel, and they've rumored to have that franchise, or like I think the series as well at some point. So I'd love to see your kind of character fleshed out that way. You got to also work with Eli Roth, who's the director of this film. But he has such a pedigree in horror films. Have you ever thought, I want to do something in that space? Or is that like too much for you?
Well, I love Hostel. I love his movies and his style. And I obviously love his approach here in this movie. But to be fair, horror is probably the genre that I thought the least of when it comes to my own career. But never say never. I'm open to everything, but it probably, I don't know, never say never.
That's fair.
Who knows what happens,
All right, just to wrap up, obviously we're all film fans here. What is a movie that you would recommend for some people to check out? Maybe it's like an inspirational one, maybe something you grew up with. If you had to give a recommendation, what would it be?
I mean, we need 10 minutes now. I have a whole list here. I mean, my favorite movie, I think I've seen it over 50 times, is Gladiator.
Okay.
I love Warrior with Tom Hardy, Training Day. But probably the one that inspired me the most in recent years, just because I've seen it only 4 years ago, I think. And since then I keep rewatching it because it had a major impact on not only on how I see movies, but on how I see life. It's a movie called Incendie from Denis Villeneuve, the director from Dune. It's very popular right now and one of the best in the game. It's one of the earlier movies that he did from 2010. It's a very dark movie. It's it's one of those movies that, once they're done, once you finish them, they make you think. I love that.
Those are the best ones.
So for everyone who hasn't checked that movie out, Incendie, Denis Villeneuve as a director, check that out.
Amazing, man. Thank you for the recommendation, and thank you for your time, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for being on Screen Off Script.
Honestly, I really enjoyed this talk. It was something different.
I appreciate it, man.
And I felt it. It was really good.
Amazing, brother.
Thanks
Everybody
so much.
check out Borderlands. I think it's going to be a really fun time for everybody this summer. But yeah, hopefully we get to check in with you next time you're in Toronto.
Cool. We'll do that.
But yeah, awesome. Have a great day, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother.